What's good, YouTube? You find yourself at Show Me Sense, also known as Show Me Gaming on other media platforms. I've been streaming full time for quite a long time. I've been a fragrance collector for even longer, and I've been considering doing fragrance reviews for a long time. And here's our first video. So let's talk ginger for a minute. Ginger was a note that when I discovered ginger as a thing, it like literally changed my entire collection. Um, this is not the fragrance that I'm ultimately wanting to talk about today, but Ginger+Mist by Michael Malul really first got me to recognize ginger as this effervescent type of texture creating, energy creating, contrast creating, fragrance nuance or note that sent me down this huge rabbit hole. Um, the same day that I put my nose on that, I actually got this one, Ingenious Ginger on skin the same day. This one right here, man. And so I got out with the wife and we went to a kiosk at a local mall. I live in the Kansas City area, and we went to a kiosk that had Michael Malone fragrances. And I had found, the Michael Malone South Slopes, the Oxford Row, the the other Michael Malone gent scent that was popping up at Marshalls, right? And I wanted to experience the brand more. When I smelled this one, mm, I had a physical reaction, right? Just had it again, mm. And it sent me into a space where I started searching for fragrances with ginger. And it turned out that the majority of fragrances that I really, 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 really enjoyed had ginger in it. But I'd never really, it existed in my fragrances, but I never really paid attention to it. And then suddenly, that's all I could smell everywhere. Um, First time I put Ingenious Ginger on skin, I had ginger mist on the back of my hand, and then I put Ingenious Ginger in this region right here. And for me, that's kind of the worst place. I know everybody says pulse points on the proper ways to use your fragrance. The area in my wrist tends to be the least performing. Maybe it pushes more or whatever, but it dissipates really, really quickly. So I'm a guy that I talk a lot with my hands. So my favorite space, I'm this guy. I'm this guy. You'll see me out and about. I'm this guy. Absolutely 1000%. That's me. And I kept comparing the two, and it made Ginger Mist smell less what it is, which for me is a bold, bright, effervescent ginger ale, fizzy, energetic, contrasting fragrance, and I started to see similarity between the two. And for me, I really just mostly got the comparison to the Nishane Ani. And I was like, I was impressed, but I wasn't convinced it was something that I ultimately needed. And I found myself, look, a lot of times fragrances will smell good and they disappear from your mind or your memory, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes later, you're not even really thinking about them anymore. And Ingenious Ginger wasn't that fragrance for me. Um, it stayed with me. So much so that I pulled my Spectre Ghost from French Avenue out of the cabinet and tried my own blending with Ginger Mist to see how close I could get to it. Um, and Fragflex had its Canada Day sale, and I grabbed the 50 mil. Now, here's the part that I find super interesting because I didn't have a great I didn't have a great experience with performance. Mostly, I think, because of application. Second, sales associate, they're distant, missed. I like to get up close. I got a spot. Like to get up really close. I like to give myself that nice. Oh man, it's so good. That was just so good. But I couldn't not get it. And I saw a few places when they do have it, it's like around 130. I was considering grabbing it at Max Aroma. Max Aroma sale price is pretty high. And I started kind of doing this waffle in my head of not really trying to convince myself to buy it, but trying to convince myself when to buy it, where to buy it, how much to spend on it. Um, had an unexpected situation come in and had an opportunity to take um, a purchase and make it a memorable purchase. And I thought, man, this would be a memorable purchase, but like, why would I pay full retail? All these things, right? And Fragflex had its Canada Day, 4th of July sale, and I snagged it. And I got it for less than $100 on the 50 mil. Of course, it came back in stock. Old factory. If you know, you know. 100 mil, like 135 ish. Thought about buying that too. I didn't. But anyway, I noticed after having worn Ginger Mist, coming back to it, after having the idea of Ani in my head, I figured it was just going to mostly be that because that's kind of what I dismissed it as. And what I started to notice was I had exposed myself to ginger long enough and frequently enough that the ginger is what stands out. And and I started to kind of realize that it wasn't the note of ginger that I really loved, even though I do. It's the contrast. It's what it does in a fragrance. It's how it causes energy, movement, excitement, sparkle, spice, sometimes sweetness, all of these different things. And then I realized that it wasn't the note; it was the effect. And I also love the fact that it makes this smell different. And it again sent me look. If you're in the hobby game of fragrance, then you're kind of like me in the spirit, in the sense that you do a lot of research, you do a lot of this, that, and the third, and that's so much of it. Some of us are, I don't want to say addicted, but some of us are hooked into the collector space from the acquisition, and I'm going to say addicted in this case because I'm less addicted to the acquisition as I am the experience. And it makes it an easy connection for me because a lot of people will get a fragrance, wear a fragrance, and then they'll go do something and be wearing the fragrance while they're doing it, and they're locking in a scent memory. For me, what initially hooks me on a fragrance is the experience, the story behind where I was at, when I was there, who I was with at the time of introduction to the fragrance, and then the concurrent um, or subsequent experiences that occur afterwards. They just add to that story. And I had that with Ingenious Ginger because Ginger Mist literally it mind screwed me. It spun my head in a way that I went down a rabbit hole and realized that the majority of my top rated fragrances all had ginger in it. And I can't get enough. I gotta be honest. With that said, Goldfield and Banks fragrances get knocked all the time for poor performance. Skin chemistry is a huge deal. Skin chemistry, we know this, hydration, all of these things affect. But one's own skin chemistry matters more than anything. It's not just how it smells on a test strip. It's not just how your favorite reviewer feels about a fragrance, it's about how it smells on your skin, how it performs on your skin. And Ingenious Ginger for me sticks around like 8 plus hours. Now, is it performing crazy for the entire 8 plus hours? No, I'm not going to say that. It's certainly not the case. But for me, I went in expecting 3, 4 hours, and then it would be, man, it sticks on my skin for a long time. And I'm kind of I'm a guy that enjoys the opening of a fragrance in a lot of cases. I'm not just specific to I want a fragrance with a great opening, but most of the fragrances that I continue to reach for over and over and over and over hook me in the open, the way that it first starts out, the way that it first smells, and then I continue to reapply it. I didn't do that with Ginger Mist. I did 2 sprays on the back of my hand, and 8 hours later, you could still, I could just be, you know, and I could still smell it. Um, I say 8 plus because I'm not going to put a definitive hours time on it because I'm not really doing a fragrance review per se. I'm just kind of talking fragrance in general, which is kind of I think what I want to do with the space and some of these videos that I'm gonna do. Um, Ingenious Ginger, like who would it be for? Um, uh, or Ginger Mist for that matter. It's people that want something different than your classic blue freshness. There is a freshness in here. There's a spiciness in here. There is a vanilla in here. There is so many different aspects in here. But I don't even think I need to do the who's this for. I don't think I really want to specifically review the fragrance. That's not really what I'm trying to do. That's not really what I want to do with the channel. I think what I want to do is kind of share my fragrance journey a little bit and talk just fragrance in general, like if we were at lunch or something. Um, I don't even know that I would want to quantify things with a rating or a score. I will say this: if you're like me and you have a space where you can go put this fragrance on your skin, either one of them for that matter, I would do it. Now, this one would be the one that I would probably recommend the most because it's the one that really changed the way that I perceive ginger. And then I went back to so many other fragrances that have ginger in the open or immediately in the mid. Um, I never really had a fragrance that was specifically like a ginger fragrance. I thought Ginger+Mist by Michael Malul was just going to be kind of a singular note fragrance. It's not. It's very it's very, like I said, fizzy. I get the ginger ale vibe, and then it becomes this other citrus ginger sparkle nuance. Um, kind of did the same thing with Iris, but I would think the ginger has probably become one of, if not my favorite fragrance note. So I'm not going to sit here and just keep rambling for you guys, but I wanted to get my first video out here, and I thought, what a better space to do it than to talk about ginger and the way that the sparkle and the energy affects, and the way that an exposure to something specific that is so strongly connected with you in experience that it can alter every concurrent or every every experience from that point forward. And that's really what Ginger Mist did for me. Um, and then I just thought Ingenious Ginger was going to be, the 1B, 1A being Ginger Mist, 1B being Ingenious Ginger. Nah, man. I'm gonna always have Ingenious Ginger in my collection. So I don't have any fancy outros because I didn't have any fancy intros. But I will say if you do enjoy the video, give us a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Um, hopefully you guys enjoy this. I love fragrance so much. I've been collecting for better than 4 decades, and most of my most of my live community is probably sick and tired of me talking about fragrance. So this is an avenue for me to continue to speak on something that has been a big part of my life. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching the video. If you stuck around to the end, stay tuned. We'll be doing another video some point.